Ever wanted to really, truly understand a new product without, getting totally lost in a maze of technical specs?
Yeah, we've all been there, staring at this list of acronyms, thinking, okay, but what does this actually do for me?
Exactly. So today, we're doing a deep dive into something very specific, a device we get asked about quite a bit, the Acer Aspire 3, specifically the NXJBAA done 001 model.
And our mission here is really to cut through all that noise. We want to peel back the layers, look at its surprising value, but also its significant compromises. The idea is to help you figure out quickly if it's genuinely the right fit for your needs.
Think of it like decoding the real cost, the hidden cost of a budget laptop.
Precisely.
Okay, so let's unpack this thing. A full Windows 11 laptop for around $320. I mean, that's incredible. Almost impulse buy territory.
It is remarkably aggressive pricing.
So how do they even manage that? How does Acer turn a profit there? What's the secret sauce?
Well, that's kind of the core deep dive question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what's really fascinating is how Acer gets to that price. It ties back to a big strategic move they made.
Oh.
Yeah, back in 2000, they spun off their entire manufacturing arm, Wistron. That allowed Acer itself to become, asset light.
Right. So they focus just on design, branding, sales.
Exactly. They outsource the actual making of the machines, and that agility, that lower overhead, is a huge part of how they can push prices so low on models like this Aspire 3.
Okay, that makes sense. So knowing that strategy, where does this laptop actually perform well?
Right.
For everyday stuff?
Right. For the common daily tasks, web browsing, maybe Microsoft Office apps, video calls.
The basics?
The basics, yeah. The processor in this one, the AMD Ryzen 3 7320U, and importantly, the NVMe SSD, they actually make the system feel pretty smooth, responsive even.
And when you say NVMe SSD, we're talking about that really fast storage, right?
Yeah.
Not the old slow hard drives.
Exactly. It makes a big difference for booting up opening applications. It feels snappy in those areas, which is frankly a big plus at this price. It boots up really fast.
Okay. And battery life.
Yeah.
How does it hold up if you take it out for the day?
That's actually another relatively bright spot. If you connect it to the bigger picture, real-world use, like a mix of tasks, you're probably looking at a respectable 6 to maybe 8.5 hours, which is generally ample for a school day or, some light work. It really leverages that processor's power efficiency.
So enough for a day out, probably. Maybe not the 11 hours they might advertise.
Well, you might hit that 11 hours under very specific light conditions, like just playing a video file stored locally, screen dimmed down.
Yeah.
But for typical use, 6 to 8.5 is more realistic.
Okay. And connectivity. I saw it has some modern ports.
It does, and that's a genuinely pleasant surprise for something this cheap. You get Wi-Fi 6
Nice.
and a versatile USB Type-C port. And that Type-C isn't just for data, it supports DisplayPort for hooking up an external monitor. And you can even charge the laptop through it.
Okay, that seems like a surprisingly good feature set for the money. Are there any sort of hidden catches there, or is it genuinely useful?
No, it's pretty robust for general use. But like we always say with budget tech, those wins, they usually come with some clever sacrifices elsewhere.
Right, the compromises.
Exactly. And that leads us straight into the critical question. Where did Acer cut corners to hit that $320 price point?
Okay, yeah. Let's get into that because this is where it gets really interesting for potential buyers. The display. It's 15.6 inches, full HD.
Which sounds good on paper, and it is an IPS panel, technically. Better viewing angles than some older cheap screens, but it's noticeably dim. Reviews consistently put it around, say, 223 to maybe 250 nits.
Which means, how dim is that really?
You think about your smartphone screen. Most modern ones are easily 500 nits, sometimes much more. So 250 nits. It's going to be tough to use this laptop in a bright room, let alone near a window or outside.
Okay, so brightness is a major issue. What about colors?
Also compromised. It suffers from really washed out colors. We're talking only about 65% of the sRGB color space.
Meaning photos, videos, they just won't look very vibrant or accurate?
Not at all. Fine for documents, maybe, but definitely not for any kind of visual creative work or even just enjoying movies properly.
Okay, screen is a big trade-off. What else?
Storage and memory. These are critical for how long you'll be happy with the machine.
Right. It has a 128 GB SSD. He said it's fast, which is good.
It is fast, yeah, NVMe speeds for loading. But 128 gigabytes, that is going to fill up incredibly quickly.
Oh, yeah. Windows itself takes a chunk, a few apps.
Exactly. You almost certainly need to rely on external drives or cloud storage pretty much right away.
And the memory, the RAM.
This is probably the biggest long-term limitation. It has 8 gigabytes of RAM, which is okay for now for basic tasks. But it's LPDDR5 RAM that is permanently soldered to the motherboard.
Soldered, meaning no upgrades, ever.
No upgrades, ever. That 8 GB is all you will ever have. And this isn't just, a technical detail. It feels like a design choice.
Like Acer saying, this is what you get, period.
Pretty much. They're signaling that this is, in effect, a disposable device. It's built for a specific, maybe 3 to 4 year lifespan of light use, not a long-term investment you can grow with. Understanding that is key to its value.
Wow, okay. Soldered RAM is a tough pill to swallow long-term. Any other obvious downsides?
Well, the build quality, it's functional,
but
it's all plastic, and it feels pretty flimsy, not something you'd want to toss around carelessly.
And I noticed something missing that drives me nuts, personally.
Let me guess. Keyboard backlight.
Yes. No keyboard backlight?
Mm-hmm.
If you ever type in dim lighting, that is a major usability headache. Turns typing into a real game of hunt and peck.
Absolutely. A cost-saving measure for sure, but one that impacts usability for many people.
Okay, one quick thing on software. It comes with Windows 11, but in S mode. What's that about?
Right, Windows 11 Home in S mode. Basically, it's a lockdown version of Windows. For security and supposedly optimized performance, it restricts you to only installing apps from the official Microsoft Store.
So no Google Chrome, no Zoom app, unless they're in the store.
Exactly. It's designed for simplicity and safety, which might be good for some users, maybe schools or less tech-savvy folks.
But what if you need Chrome or some other specific software not in their store?
There's a way out. You can switch it out of S mode to the full version of Windows 11 Home. It's free.
Okay.
But, and this is important, it's a one-way switch. Once you leave S mode, you can't easily go back.
So you trade that kind of walled garden security for more flexibility, a decision to make.
Precisely.
Okay, so pulling this all together, who is this laptop actually for? When does it make sense?
Well, considering everything, it seems ideal for, say, students on a tight budget, maybe families needing a basic second computer, or home office users whose main tasks are web browsing, writing documents, email, maybe some light media consumption.
So the basics. It's really a workhorse for just the essentials. Fulfills that low-cost, light-use niche perfectly.
Absolutely. But, and this is crucial, it is completely unsuitable for anything demanding.
Like what?
Modern gaming. Forget it. Professional video or photo editing? No, even just being a power user who likes lots of apps open or needs performance headroom. This isn't it. Its limitations are very clear, and they feel quite deliberate.
Right. So ultimately, the Acer Aspire 3, the specific model anyway, is a perfect example of a calculated exercise in compromise, isn't it?
That sums it up perfectly. You get remarkable value, truly, at that sub-$350 price point.
Mm-hmm.
But you absolutely take on specific, tangible limitations in exchange. The dim screen, the non-upgradable RAM, the small storage, the build quality.
So the key takeaway for you listening is to really consider what core features you prioritize most.
Exactly. Are you willing to trade away a brighter, more colorful display? Are you okay with knowing you can never upgrade the RAM down the line? Is plastic build okay? Is that keyboard backlight important? All to hit today's incredibly competitive price.
It really forces you to define what value means for your specific needs. And maybe think about how understanding a company's strategy, like Acer's asset-light history, shapes how you perceive that value.
A great point.
Which leaves us with a final thought. In a world overflowing with tech specs and options, how do these kinds of built-in product limitations actually help guide your decisions? And how does knowing a bit of that corporate backstory influence what you consider a good deal?